Hi everybody, it's me again. How you doing? I hope everything's okay. So, another great guest still to come. I sound like a broken record, don't I? Another great guest, they're all fabulous, but it's true. It's true, these people are amazing and I feel so lucky to get the chance to interview them. So up next, we have a lovely lady who burst onto our screens a few years ago and was in the final of The Voice. She was on Team Will. Amazing voice, and since then she has gone on to do so many amazing things. She's got her own album, she's been in musicals, she's done so many brilliant things, and it was a pleasure to chat with her a few weeks ago. So take a listen to my interview with the lovely Lucy O'Brien. Question for you is, where does your love of music come from?
That comes from my family, from my parents. It's just, music has always been in my house. Both my parents do the same job as me, so I grew up with it.
Oh wow, okay, so you, like, everyone was always singing?
Always singing. My friends always say this thing that they're always like, especially around Christmas time, they're always like, oh, I bet you guys like stand around the piano and sing carols. I'm like, that's not like an exclusively Christmas thing. It's like people, there's always somebody playing, there's always somebody singing. It's just...
Oh, wow. That's so lovely though, because I guess you can kind of go for advice and I'm almost brought up into it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, my sister is an actor. Like, obviously, I do this as a career, do musical theatre mainly as a career in singing, and my sister does acting, plays. My parents have a school now, they have a stage school now. So it's always, it's in the family, and it's very it's a really supportive atmosphere, and always has been. It's nice.
It is nice because I guess, like, if your family aren't familiar with it. I mean, my parents love music, my mum particularly, but didn't have a clue when I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go and do this. So I guess it's a bit like you're always treading into the unknown. Nobody, I mean, they're very supportive, but they didn't have the answers that I guess your family might have been able to go, okay, well, have you looked at it like this and looked at it like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, what, you saying that now, that seems quite frightening to me, obviously what you've done, because obviously this industry is it's a very scary place, and especially for people when they're starting out. I mean, it never really gets less scary, but especially when you're starting out. Yeah. And I obviously did have that with my parents, having done it professionally when I was very young and before I was born. So there was always kind of a awareness of how difficult the business is.
And did you, when you were growing up, did you always want to do this then because you were surrounded by it, or was there ever anything else that you fancied?
I did always want to do it. It was just kind of always there. It was something that I kind of felt that I would do.
Yeah.
While still having when I grow up, I want to be so like, I actually, when I finished school, first of all, I went to university to study fine art, so to be a painter. And so I did that for a year, and before realizing, actually I have to go back to where I'm supposed to be, theatre. Yeah. So I mean, there was lots of things. I was really interested in archaeology. I really wanted to do that. I did that as a summer job for when I was in school, and those were kind of my side things that I thought, oh yeah, I'd like to do those, but it always comes back to it. And I remember my guidance counsellor when I was finishing school always saying that you don't have anything on your applications, you don't have anything for theatre or music. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine with that. She was like, no, Lucy, you need to put that down. I was like, no, I know what I'm doing. Literally, like, less than a year later, I was like, she was right. She was so right.
I think that's the thing, because you've always had it, and if it is a passion of yours, sometimes that passion, you can't let it go.
No, it's in you, I suppose. Born with it. I always say about my parents, like, I never really had a chance. It was always going to be this, in the nicest possible way. And yeah. I'm delighted because I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Happy with the choice.
Amazing. And describe your journey to becoming a singer and a performer. You said that you study fine art. Where did it go after that point?
Well, I did that for. I mean, art is always something that I've done as well. As well with my dad. So it always kind of went alongside. But I kind of realized very quickly in that course in university that it wasn't for me. So I was still doing in Ireland like Amdram musical societies and stuff. I did that my whole life, and obviously my parents started their stage school for myself and my sister when we were very small. So we were doing that all the time as well. So I was still, even through that college course, I was still doing shows in Ireland. And just one day I kind of came home and sat down and had a conversation with my parents. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this course. So we kind of set about looking for other courses. And my dad put me in touch with a singing teacher. I basically decided, like, if I'm going to do this for real, then I need vocal stamina. So I decided classical training was what I wanted to do. And my dad put me in touch with this teacher, a friend of his, Catherine Smith. She completely changed my life. So I started training with her, and from that, it was like she just stretched my voice beyond any limit that I thought I had, and kind of gave me a love for it and a technique that I never thought I could have. And for classical music as well, she introduced me to that, and I thought, first of all, as just exercises, kind of, this is just for stamina, but I fell in love with it, that style of singing, that repertoire. So it all kind of went from there. We found, again, as you say, it does actually come back to my family and having that support network of, they understand this. We found the course together, that I trained in acting alongside training with Catherine vocally. And after college, I literally just went knocking on doors. I just came to London and started knocking on doors and handing in letters, and luckily an agent took a chance on me.
Yeah.
And that agent, who I'm still with, got me a singing teacher over here who again changed my life, and she was the one who kind of filled out my first application for The Voice, and that was
that.
It's yeah, and a lot of it all came from asking for help and taking accepting help from people and working hard on. It sounds really boring, but it is. It's just.
But that's the thing, isn't it? You're working hard at your craft, and people, like you say, people taking a chance on you, because there's so many people out there that want to do it.
Yeah.
It's fun. You're stepping into a world that, okay, like you say, you were blessed to have a little bit of background in it, but also you're still just you going into this world going, what do I do?
Absolutely, yeah. And nobody over here cared, I mean, nobody over there, no one in Ireland cared who I was either, but nobody here cared who I was. This girl from Ireland, I didn't have a UK, like a London college on my CV or anything like that. So I think probably the greatest thing that both my family and my teachers, both Catherine in Ireland and Jay here, gave me, and Bo, my agent, was like belief in, like the belief that I was able to do it. And that's the one thing that you kind of have to, or that I held on to more than anything else, was I know I'm able to do this. I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And from that with my family and Catherine, that's what, it was literally just persistence. And I had no business knocking on these people, on the agents' doors that I did.
Yeah.
But it was just sheer stubbornness that, and somebody eventually took a chance, and it was the right person who did. So
I guess like you say, you have to take a chance. If you believe strongly enough that this is what you're meant to be doing, you've got to do everything in your power to try and make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's, that is really scary. The thought of, I'm naturally quite a shy person, actually, and quite a nervous person, a very nervous person, actually. So when it came to knocking on those doors, I would walk up and down that street like 7-8 times before I actually got the courage to turn into that. I'd walk past the door like so many times. Yeah. But the thought of one day regretting that I had not done it, when knowing that I could have, was scarier than the thought of it's just a door.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
All the worst thing they can say is no, and I think when you believe that eventually it's going to happen, then the worst thing somebody can say, that no is not so scary.
Yeah.
It's no for now. It's not no forever.
Yeah, I always say the worst thing that can happen when I send out emails, tapes, anything, the worst thing that can happen is nobody gets back to you, because even if they say no, you know that you've been noticed in some way, shape or form. They just, like you say, no for now, or you're not right for this. But if they don't get back to you, that's worse, because you think, oh, I've just gone unnoticed. But you've got to just keep trying it.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the most challenging part of your job?
At the moment, it's just finding the will to practice. Finding the will to practice when you know that nothing is happening right now or happening for the foreseeable future. In general, the most challenging part of the job is just keeping your chin up through it all, because it is like, even when it's good, it's still hard. It's still, there's, I've been very lucky. I've had some fantastic jobs, and there's still a million no's to every yes. That's, I think, one of the most difficult things about the business, is just keeping your chin up through it all, focusing on why you love it and why you do it, because it's very easy to get distracted by everything else, because there's a lot of everything else that goes with this industry, I think.
Sure. And what has been your favourite venue that you performed in?
Oh my God, there's so many. So many. So when I was 14 years old, I decided that I was going to be in Les Mis in the West End. Decided. So I pursued that until I was 25, when I got into Les Mis. So the Queen's Theatre in the West End has always been like a kind of sacred place for me. So that was definitely one of them. I also had the privilege and honour of being a soloist in a concert at the Palladium, the London Palladium.
Oh.
Which was like, I never thought that I'd ever get to stand on that stage.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. Other highlights include the Wales Millennium Centre, because it's incredible, and the Board Gosh in Dublin, which I got to play with the Sound of Music, which was just phenomenal, because it was a home crowd. It was Christmas time.
Oh.
That was magic. Yeah, that was really, really special.
When it all kind of comes together in one moment.
Oh my God, yeah, that was opening night at Sound of Music. It was every night, but it was that first moment when you walked out, and just, it was like, it's almost 3,000 people. It's also a beautiful venue.
Yeah.
But that was really special.
So talk us through, you mentioned it earlier, talk us through your time on The Voice. What was that experience like for you?
I had a brilliant time on The Voice. And I don't know, I feel like you hear a lot of kind of bad stories, or people who've had negative experiences on TV talent shows, but I just had the best time. Like, I have some just positive memories. Yeah, it was just, I met so many people. I met so many like friends, and it was such an interesting, I think, so for somebody who comes sort of from an industry background, like obviously I'd never done TV before, but from show business, I guess, entertainment industry background, it was so interesting to see how something that scale is run, and also, like, they treated us so well, so you felt really special the whole time. Like, you had your own vocal coach, and though there were, like, it was hard work. Like, they were very long days. You'd be like camera ready from 7 a.m. and then working until you might not even start work. There were some days where you were camera ready at 7 a.m. and then you didn't even actually do anything until 11 p.m. Like, because there's a lot of waiting around. There's a lot of waiting for whether it's other contestants, because there's so many people involved in the show, or the celebrity coaches, because they have to have personal time with each, it's a long process, and there's a lot of waiting, and there's a lot of working all through that. You've people coming in to you all throughout the day to rewarm you up and redo makeup and redo everything, and it is really hard work, but I just found it so exciting.
Yeah.
And from the, like and especially when it got into the live shows, like things like that you see on TV, like when you're about to go live on TV and people go, like, it's real. And that's so exciting. So for me, when that was happening, I was just like, wow, rather than, oh my God, I'm live in front of 12 million people.
Yeah.
It was just, I have only positive memories of the whole thing. I look back on it all kind of still as if did it really happen. Like I have a picture on my wall behind me of me and will.i.am, and still, like, even as I look at it now, I'm like, what? That's not real. So it was, yeah. I keep saying special, but it's like a dream. And it completely changed my life, and I will always be grateful for that. It opened doors that I never thought would be possible.
So it was a really good platform for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's what makes The Voice particularly different, was that I feel like pretty much everybody who was in, well, a large number of the people who were in my season, were they were already sort of gigging musicians, and that was what they went on it for, was for a platform. And certainly it has put them all in a place now, even still, where they are still making music, and it did really make a difference whether they got spotted by somebody who wasn't involved, i.e. not the companies that we were going for, that the prizes were with.
Yeah.
But certainly it was a platform, and that's what everybody in The Voice, like what all the team, the producers and all the music team and everything were focused on. It was about making everything the best possible setup for you. Like, they were very open with us from the very beginning. Like, only one of you is going to come away with the prize. So the rest of you need, while you're here, to use this platform while you can. So have your social media sorted out, have your website sorted out. So they helped us with all of that, and they were very kind of on you about it all the time to keep it going. And so certainly will.i.am was always like, you've got to use the things that you're given, and like the production values that we were given for our performances every week, like that band, that lighting rig, those costumes, even like I remember Will saying one time, like, I couldn't afford this. If I wanted a 20-minute slot of just me on primetime television on a Saturday night with this setup, I couldn't afford that, and you're getting it for free, so make the most of it.
It's like you say, it's taking that opportunity that you've been given and using it to the best of your ability.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I had a great time, so I am very happy, smiley, positive. It was one of the best decisions that I didn't make. I was pushed into making by my sister. She was like, I was like, oh, I don't think that I should do this. This is maybe not, like, it's maybe not a good career move. And she was like, Lucy, you don't have a career to lose or ruin. Just try.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. But it was definitely one of the best things that I did. But I think part of the reason it was so positive for me and so positive for the other people who did well out of the season was that we went into it eyes open, with the knowledge of what the industry already was.
Sure.
And fully taking on board what they were saying to us. Only one person is going to win this.
Yeah.
Only one person is going to get the prize that we're all talking about. The rest of you have to, and no one knows who that's going to be till the end. So you've got to work.
Yeah, definitely. And tell us, what have you been up to since that point? So like you say, it was a fantastic opportunity. After you left The Voice, what have you been doing?
After I left The Voice, literally within a few days, maybe 2 days, we finished Easter Saturday, so it was a bank holiday. And the next week, like as soon as work came back, Bill Kenwright's office contacted my agents and asked me to come in and audition for Maria in The Sound of Music. So wow. I went through that whole process, and then obviously I got the role, and I started with that at Christmas. That was my first kind of big role. I did that for almost a year, and the following Christmas I went into Les Mis. So it just kick-started, it kick-started my whole musical theatre career, which is what I had hoped, basically. It was, to go on The Voice, to get some exposure, to hopefully be able to get auditions. That was the whole point. I didn't think I'd ever get as far as I got on The Voice. I thought I'd maybe get 2 clips out of it and get to send them to people and be like, I did this, look at.
Yeah. Sure.
So luckily, obviously, I got a lot more than that and got seen. So it literally it got me in the room. And so I toured the UK with Sound of Music, and then I went to the West End, did Les Mis, then I went back to the Sound of Music for a little while, and then I toured the UK and Ireland and Germany with Evita, playing Eva Peron. And then I did, and then I did, last year I went on tour with Little Miss Sunshine, lovely new musical, and I just finished Cats. Well, just finished. I mean, I finished Cats in January, but I feel like I've been in my apartment since then, so nothing.
Yeah. Wow, amazing. So all very different roles then.
Yeah, really different. I've been extremely lucky in the sort of scope of, I feel like I've got some really kind of massively iconic ones under my belt really quick.
Yeah.
Between like Ava, Grisabella, and all of them really.
Yeah. Incredible. And have you had a favourite one if you had to choose?
I don't know. I've had so much fun. I mean, Ava Peron is just a ball. It really is. Evita is amazing. It's one of my favourite scores. And it was a great cast. It was great company. I had so many dresses. Every time I left the stage, I changed my costume.
Oh.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
And we played some fantastic venues. But they all have, Les Mis was an actual literal dream come true. Like, I didn't go to sleep the night before I opened in Les Mis.
Wow.
Because, I didn't sleep at all for fear that I would miss it, or that I would actually wake up the following morning and it would actually have been a dream in real, and I wouldn't actually be opening. I stayed awake all night the night before I opened. It, they all have their different moments. They've all meant so much.
Yeah, incredible. And I've got some now kind of random questions. I love the random questions. So top 3 things to do or see. Have you got a bucket list?
I don't have a bucket list.
No?
No, I don't know if that makes me really boring, but I feel like things change so often, and I'm really open to just whatever. I think if anything, the last kind of few years have taught me that you just don't know what's around the corner. So I'm open to whatever opportunities present themselves.
Yeah. And do you have a favourite childhood book or film or TV character that you loved?
Harry Potter for books.
Okay.
All the Harry Potters all the time, still, always. Disney and The Simpsons were kind of my big thing.
Okay.
I still like all of those things. I have not grown up, apparently.
I haven't either, don't worry. I actually have a Disney tattoo.
Yes! Oh my god, look at that!
I know.
That's gorgeous.
So, yeah.
I mean, bucket list thing could definitely be all Disney park, all the parks all over the world. I would like to do that at some point.
Oh.
Have you done it?
No, I haven't. I feel like I should, though.
Oh my god.
I love Disney. I say to the kids all the time, whenever I'm teaching them something new, they're like, there's always something Disney in here, Jen. I'm like, well, you just can't not.
You can't not. It's so good. And it has songs for literally every occasion. It has.
Absolutely. And you can be a princess. I mean,
what? What's not to love? It has everything.
I know.
Disney Plus has been a complete game changer for this lockdown. Like,
yeah, I know. I think like I am just a big child.
yeah, but that's okay.
Oh,
It's
good.
all, what from my watching of all the documentaries on Disney Plus, I have learned that that was the whole point. That was why he started all the parks and everything, was to have a place where everyone could still go and be a kid, because that's the best.
It is. It literally is. It is the best. I know. Everyone says to me, "Do you think like?" Because I'm 25, so when they're like, "Do you think when you're 50, you're still gonna want a Disney tattoo?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Why not? Like, why? Why would I not?
I was, yeah, I know. It's like, well, I could expand on it and people are just like, "Oh no, no."
I mean, I think it's beautiful. It's actually, I love how simple it is.
Yeah,
The
it's
design
cute.
of it is really beautiful.
It is cute. I've got a little one on my ankle with just like music notes. It's just a really small one. And then yeah, I'm not a huge, I don't have loads. I just have two. But yeah, I had to be
But
Disney.
important things, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Music and Disney. What more do you need in your life?
Is there anything else?
Nothing. And if you could do another profession for 24 hours, what would you choose to like delve into?
I think probably ideally something with animals.
Yeah.
Like whether that was like working in like an animal shelter or something.
Sure.
Probably that, or a zoo.
Oh yeah. Do you have a favorite animal?
This might be boring, but my dogs. I have just dogs. Yeah, dogs of all shapes and sizes.
Oh, do you have dogs then?
I had 3 dogs, but I have only one left, and she's 18 years old, and yeah, she is such a legend. She's amazing.
We actually had a cat when I was growing up. My parents they lived in Hong Kong for a little while, and they found him in a rubbish bin with his twin brother, and they were the size they could fit in the palm of my dad's hand, both of them.
Oh.
Brought them when they came back to the UK. They brought them back, obviously through quarantine and everything. And the one, this was years before I was born, but the one lived until he was 25.
Oh my God.
Him for 13 years of my life. Yeah, he was 25 years old, and in the end they had to put him down because his legs just stopped working. But he was an absolute gem. Every time anybody mentions an animal, we're like, we had a legend right there.
That's incredible. Wow.
He was a Hong Kong kitty.
Wow. And the best looked after cat ever.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh yeah, we love animals in our house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think old animals are really special. Like they're just so.
Why?
Yeah, they're really placid and like just there's such a nice kind of chill energy.
Yeah, I bet that's helped you through lockdown, right? Having your dog.
Well, she's in Ireland, so I've only been back in the UK 2 weeks.
Okay.
I went home in March to see my family at the beginning of March, and literally the day after I got back, lockdown happened in Ireland. So I was there for 12 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, that was awesome though, to spend that time with my family. Of course, my family, but also mainly Mouse.
Yeah.
So yeah, I miss her a lot. I miss them all a lot, but obviously I can talk to them on the phone.
Yeah, you can't talk to the dog.
She wouldn't get it. She doesn't get it.
And if you could choose someone to duet with, who would you choose?
This is a really hard question. I mean, probably someone like Barbra Streisand. If you could choose anyone at all, it would probably have to be Barbra Streisand.
Yeah, just because she's iconic.
I mean, yeah. Do you even need to explain Barbra Streisand? Like she's.
Yeah.
I feel like nothing I could say would even do her justice.
Yeah, amazing. And if there was anyone, like a band that you could sing with?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Like a band, like as in a group, like a.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because probably there was a time when I probably would have said the Black Eyed Peas, but then I actually did duet with Will.i.am, so I'm kind of okay with.
Yeah. Pick that off.
I think. I don't know.
Did you have a favourite band growing up?
Yeah. but they probably wouldn't want a duet with me. It was McFly. But yeah, I would have killed.
Oh my gosh. I know.
Yeah.
And like that music is still just so iconic, isn't it?
Oh my
You know.
God, beautiful. Like,
No-
and I'm gonna get like really into McFly now, but like was it their second album stuff, like Wonderland, when, Tom was writing all of that really like orchestral stuff?
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Like,
And I think people think about pop music and it's just like teeny boppy stuff, and you're like, it's not all of it.
oh my God, it was so beautiful. And it's
Yeah.
still, like, they're all still good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% it would have been McFly in the day. I don't think they're still a thing.
I don't know. But hey, who knows, right? It might happen.
Maybe.
My last question for you is, what has kept you busy during lockdown?
Cake. Literally cake. Yeah, I've been baking a lot. Like a lot. Trying to bake less now that I'm back in a flat with just me and my boyfriend, because obviously when I was in Dublin, we were only allowed to go within 2 kilometers from our home, but that meant that I could still get to my nana and my auntie and my sister, so I could like bake and then disperse all of the cakes like around, so I wasn't eating all of it. So I'd be baking like 2-3 times a day and just like getting rid of it all. But now I'm kind of like need to severely cut back on that. So baking and painting, Disney Plus, and family calls, and doing quizzes online.
Yeah.
Adam, my boyfriend, runs a quiz every night with my family and all our friends and everything. So on a Thursday night every week. So
That's lovely.
Like that, staying in touch.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's really important, isn't it? Still being able to talk to people.
Yeah, and it's very hard. It is very hard to always be on screens, actually. I think that's gotten much harder over the kind of past month, or maybe a little bit more. But it is important, and I suppose maybe even just cutting down the amount of times, because I would do this a lot anyway, because obviously my family are all in Ireland, so I would do this kind of at least once or twice a day anyway.
Yeah.
But now when it's your only means of communication with everybody, it is quite difficult.
Yeah.
But still really important, and I think that is what's keeping people sane. Going for walks as well is another great one that I've been doing quite a lot of.
Fresh air, I mean, yeah, you just need it.
Oh my God, it's so important. So important. It's making the change to coming back from being in Ireland, where like we live on the sea, so you're able to get out. We don't live on the sea. We live on the seas, like at the seaside, on the coast. So so it makes such a difference, right? Because the air is always clean. You get, it's easy to go for a walk. So making the change to coming back to the apartment in Gordon has been quite an adjustment.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of days when I got back where I just didn't go out kind of at all.
Yeah.
And you notice it so much, like it's even to just walk to the shop, just get out and get air.
Yeah. And do you know what's next for you once lockdown, once we're all back and up and running, or no idea?
I haven't a clue. No idea. Look, something will happen for all of us that, the arts is so important and it's so resilient, and it's too important to not be okay through all of this. It's the thing that survives all tragedies. It is really.
Yeah.
Because people put all of their suffering and all of their experiences and all of, everything that's happened to them, they put that into creating more. So it will be fine. It will, who knows when, but it will survive, and it may change completely from what we know.
Yeah.
But it will, unquestionably, art will survive it. How, in what shape and form, nobody can say at the moment.
No, but it has to, like you say, because it's life for so many people.
Yeah, it is. But even in it's like for the people who created it, it's life and it's livelihood and it's their way of life. But for the people who consume it as well, like
Definitely.
People whose jobs will go back to normal before ours will, things, but they won't go back to normal if, until arts are restored, and they can go to the theater, and they can listen to new music, and they can watch, new movies that, can't be filmed under social distancing. Everything will change, but it will survive. It has to survive.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me today.
Thank you. And I'm so sorry about the thing about not being able to get it going at the start, but thank you.
Don't worry. It's not like I had anything else planned.
Well, the beauty of lockdown, right?
Absolutely. It's when people, I say to people, when are you free? And they're like, when am I not free? And I'm like, what? But we are, you do try and get other stuff up and running, don't you? You just try.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You've got to, trying to get back into practicing now. I've been singing for the last few days. Get back into that. Have a goal. Yeah.
Definitely. Brilliant. Well, what I'll do is I'll send you the link when it goes up, so you can have a watch.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you. And I'll keep in touch.
Yeah, do. It was lovely to talk to you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Great, right? Isn't it awesome listening to people's stories? As people within the creative arts industry, we love to tell stories. That's what we do through music, through acting, theatre, dance, poems, anything really, art. We love to tell a story. So thank you so much to Lucy for joining me and sharing her stories, her memories, her time. And we wish her the best for the future. I haven't finished quite yet. I don't know what it's like now. I mean, what are we? Early August? And right now it's the middle of June, and we're still very much within that lockdown state. So who knows what the world is like when this reaches you guys now. But I feel so lucky to have been able to share these amazing people with you. So if you'll have me, I'll continue doing it. It's been amazing. Thanks, guys. Have a lovely one. Take care, and I'll see you soon with someone else just as fabulous. Take care. Bye.